And at this time, I'd like to bring Lieutenant Wade Kimball back up to the stage. And he's going to share with us some more information regarding reducing accidents through technology. Yes, a round of applause is great. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So my presentation today is going to be pretty much the same as what Arizona had indicated, reducing accidents through using technology of accidents, areas that we need to concentrate our efforts on, peak times a day. For this presentation, we're just going to be speaking only about commercial vehicle accidents and all severities from no injury to fatality accidents. So this is the old school patch right here for license and weight, and this is our current one right here. So we kind of made this up just to keep highway patrol in check a little bit. So what it is we have two different forms of data collection. We use that data and put it in with our crash data. I have an example of a speed survey that we've done and a conclusion of how we do this. We use our, it's called HSOC. It's the operations center that's operated by the Department of Public Safety. Now, the state police in Texas do not gather all the information from motor vehicle accidents. That's actually our highway department. And we used to do that until 7-8 years ago, and they do it now, so we get our information from them. And as I said earlier today, any form of law enforcement that we have that's out there, it's just creating safety for the public and everything that we do. And so in using information, as Arizona had just showed us before, and then what I'm fixing to show you today, what it does is it addresses the threat. And in addressing the threat is preventing motor vehicle accidents. Today's, what I'm fixing to show you is going to only be commercial vehicles. It will not include passenger vehicles. Because in the last sentence that we have in here, that this technology enables us to allocate our resources, and that's putting troopers on the road in certain locations where they need to be during certain times of day, identifying the threat, and our threat is to reduce accidents, recognize trends that are going on. It might be something new in a certain area that before historically didn't have commercial vehicle accidents. And then so we can predict for our future obstacles in putting our people where they need to be. So the word of today, what was it, Luna? Granular. I've heard 3 presentations today with the word granular used. So Luna looked it up and it said, what? Finally, what was it? Yeah, finely detailed. So I will include the word granular somewhere in my presentation today, and I challenge you to do the same before the end of the day. This stuff gets difficult, I'm sorry. So we have 2 different forms of collection of data. We have the passive and we have the active. Something that we get that's passive is something that we can look at and visually observe to come up with our opinion of where an area, maybe where we need to concentrate our efforts with commercial vehicle enforcement to reduce accidents. So, and of course, the last one down here is historical, but this is something that you can actually see with your own eyes. Now, when you use something over an active collection of data, that's going to be something that you're going to need an analyst to put together so that you can have reports as Arizona showed us before and what we have. So it's going to show our traffic volumes, time of day, which day of the week, highways, speeds they're going, and you can do a speed count like in highway patrol if they want to know areas where people are violating the posted speed limit. They can set up and have this done. So at any time in Texas, a supervisor using our operations center, from the time you request to the time it comes back to you emailed is about 48 hours. About every 6 months, it's always good for the sergeants to check their area of responsibility. And again, we're talking about commercial vehicle accidents so that we can put our troops out there. Arizona said Monday through Friday, was it 6A to 6P? Our numbers, as you're fixing to see in this little study on here, they're the same, so that's good. Now, so this right here shows a heat map as they had showed you earlier. Right over here are the severities of the accidents. Okay, this shows the roadways that have the most accidents, and then it breaks it down right here. Okay, and this is from the time that they used to collect this data. This data was collected on 2009, the whole year for 2019, 2020. As you can see, 2020 right here is about March, April, May, when COVID really came into effect with the pandemic. Everyone shut down. And so as you can see, we got 3 months where the accidents were down compared to 2019. But you give them time and, bless their heart, it's going to happen. We're going to have accidents that are always going to happen. I mean, we had a few months where they went down, and as you can see, they come right back up towards the end of the year. So this right here, when I requested this is 7 different counties in East Texas right here. Right here's Tyler, Texas. And so this is 7 different counties that I requested the information to be collected. So at any time, one of the supervisors, if you only have 1 county assigned to you, you can just use that 1 county or 2 counties, as many of you have in your area of responsibility. And then it'll break it down to you right here, showing, the darker the red and all that this is the time of day when you start having more accidents. And again, these are all of the severities of accidents included here. So this right here is just a screenshot pulling up the crash severity so you can see it right here. And then it's going to say the top 5 roadways of where the accidents took place and the number that are outside it. Now, I could use granular information. I could use that information and I could break it down further, showing which milepost where they're happening at. And so they're just broke down to the top 5. I could go 10 highways. I could go I-20 right here, which milepost where we're having most of the accidents at. And I can get a heat map developed for that. Again, here's East Texas. There's Tyler, Longview. This is Dallas over in here. On this one right here, we're just looking at crash density, where they label all of the different crash density of the accidents that take place. We have down here the 2019, and these are the 2020 accident stats. And this is pretty general because it was 7 counties, so I didn't have them scale it down more. But here we go. We're explaining right here where we have our accidents, most of them. Here's 12A going to midnight right here. The troopers ought to be lucky that the accidents do not occur on Saturday night, because we're addressing the threat, and that's when we would put our people out. So thank God in commercial vehicle enforcement, it's pretty much the same, throughout the nation, it appears. Okay, down here, it's the same information as it was displayed on the previous slide. It's just blowing it up and showing the 2019, 2020 stats right here. So now it's going to display our fatal. It's just showing all fatal wrecks right here involving a commercial vehicle. Earlier, someone from the industry, I believe, said first that a lot of times when a commercial vehicle is involved in an accident with a passenger car, it was not the commercial vehicle that caused the accident. It was the passenger car. They did something, got out of control, and maybe went under axle 4 and 5 or 2 and 3 of one of the tandem axles. They're terrible accidents. We've all worked them in our time. We've all seen them. And so we also work vehicles that are driving in erratic manners around commercial vehicles, and we target them and take enforcement action to give them a little lesson on paying attention when you're driving around a commercial vehicle. So again, these right here are fatals, explaining where they're at and what times of day. Here's our 2019. This one right here is more of a speed survey that would be used by our highway patrol, okay? This is gonna show the total number of vehicles, time of day that came through, that were counted, and their vehicle speeds that come through. And it generally has where it'll say the maximum speed and the minimum speed that was recorded. And as you can see, it's got time of day that they're happening. Showing the graph, this is the posted speed limit right here. So, on Sunday Saturday and Sunday, they're above the posted speed limit. And so we can also use that. And again, within 48 hours, you could have all this information. Over here, we have pretty much the same thing, showing that information on a larger scale where it is easier to do. And then you can choose which direction they're going, southbound, northbound, and it will count all of the vehicles and record their vehicle speeds so that you can have real-time information to deploy your troopers when they're out working. So in conclusion, through artificial intelligence and GPS that is going to lead towards the reducing accidents. I have several friends who are safety men at motor carriers, and on their phone, they receive an email anytime one of their drivers that they applied their brakes too hard, they turned too fast, they accelerated too fast, deaccelerated too fast, and when they were speeding. And it'll show a map of this date and time to that location, to this location, they were over the posted speed limit. So that holds drivers accountable in what they're doing. Hopefully it's holding them more accountable and paying attention to their driving, that they're going to be safer drivers out on the roadway. But at the Department of Public Safety, using technology, what we do is it allows us to allocate our resources. I'm barely seeing, sorry. Identify threats, recognize trends, predict the future, and to reduce accidents and save lives, because that's what it is all about, no matter which way you talk about it. Pretty much everything that's been discussed in here so far has been towards saving lives, and that's what we're here for. So, do y'all have any questions? Y'all ready to go on break?
Oh, we're not ready for break yet. I'll say we got a question here.
Now,
Yeah,
go
just
ahead.
you mentioned the 48-hour turnaround for that report.
Yes,
Is there like a web-based interface where the supervisors can go in and fill out the parameters? How do they make the request?
Yeah, and that's exactly how we do it. It's a form that you fill out. You'll put the parameters and you'll take and send it to them. You just email them to them. And we have a operations center analyst in each of the 7 regions in Texas. So you're looking about a 48-hour return to get it back in email to you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Anybody else?
Out of curiosity, how is the data analyzed, like for the different areas of Texas?
How is it analyzed
For the different areas of Texas?
as far as speeding or commercial vehicle accidents?
Commercial vehicle accidents?
Okay, where I live, I showed you on the map, Tyler, Texas, in Smith County. I don't know what it is, but historically, there is just a tremendous amount of accidents that occur there. Now, in South Texas, where Lieutenant Luna is, when you get away from the border down there, the towns and the counties are very small, and they do not have nearly the amount of accidents in those areas. What it does, it just provides you with real-time data of exactly what is going on in your area of responsibility.
Great, thanks again. Any other questions?
We do have a question online.
Oh, great, go ahead.
Does Texas overlay this information with inspection locations?
Yes, we do have the ability to see where the inspections are being conducted by troopers roadside. And we can break that down to a sergeant area of 10 troopers, down to one single trooper of where they're working and what times they're doing their inspections.
Great, any other questions? All right, thanks again, Lieutenant Kimball.
All right, thank y'all.